Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Somewhere in between, round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
A long time ago, in a world war-torn, two nations rammed heads with a vengeance they'd sworn. There'd be no victor as the bomb blasts had dropped, snuffing out all life, leaving gore and messes to be mopped. The utopia of Great Grumbopolis rose from the ashes. Only the adored had survived as they appealed to the masses. The monsters and beasts adapted or died out. A kind unicorn named Oleander helped show life a new route. There were no wars, people lent sugar to their neighbors. The people of Great Grumbopolis found life much simpler on top of their rainbows. 4 young travelers, all 12 years of age, await their coronation where their life's purpose they shall be gave. And that is where our adventure will begin, in Great Grumbopolis with 4 unlikely friends. Hello and welcome to Knocked Prone, a podcast of high crits, small fits, and varying wits. I am Cade, the Dungeon Master and GM of this Dungeons & Dragons adventure, and I am joined here by the players to my left.
Mason playing Lakir.
Brooklyn playing Litzy.
Danny playing Tess.
Caden playing Blink.
Our story will begin in the utopia of Great Grumbopolis, which is a city on top of a rainbow. You are currently all standing in the coronation room. It is the 100th year of Great Grumbopolis' founding, and you are all about to be placed in an aura. Auras are the families that you guys are going to be placed in, and it decides your job and other things. The room that you guys are standing in right now is the castle of the great unicorn Oleander. It has rainbow-striped precious gems lining the walls and the flooring, and the top of it is made out of a lot of different colors of stained glass. And in the center of the room is a pillar of seemingly white light. A woman who is guiding your class of 20 people is gesturing you forward and is like, "Come along, children, come on, let's walk towards the light." So she starts calling names and asking each of you to place your hand in the white light. And what's going to happen is the light is going to refract in a certain way that is going to hit on the stained glass in the ceiling, and that will show which aura you are placed in. She looks at her sheet of paper, and she is a warforged, so she's like a mechanical teacher lady. You guys have grown up with her all your life as your teacher. She's advanced with you, taught you all of the adventuring that you needed to know. And she says,
Well, first on here, let's see, alphabetical order. Blink, you are the first in our names list. However, you are also the newest here. Would you like to go first, or would you like to let somebody else go first?
I just fold my arms and look away from her.
Oh, no worries. I'm sorry. Okay, well, next on the list.
and she starts naming a bunch of other people that have been in your class, and they all stand up to walk forward towards the light, and they stick their hand in, and the first one's like purple. And as this aura shines purple, your mechanical warforged teacher's eyes glow in a similar purple fashion, and elatedly she says to your classmate,
Purple. Okay, well, you're going to be in the entertainers of the group. The entertainers are also construction workers. They build odds and ends things.
and she continues to describe the different auras as each student places their hand in.
Who do we have next? Oh, let's see. I believe you're next. I think that we all know that you're going to be an artificer, but would you like to place your hand in the light anyway?
Absolutely.
Stand up and go towards the light.
I stand up and I start walking towards the light. I definitely trip like 4 times on my way to the light, but it does not threaten my spirits at all. I'm still super, super excited, and I cheerfully stick my hand in the light.
As you stick your hand in the light pings off of the wall next to you, and your robot teacher gasps as this has never happened in the 100 years. And it pings and pings and pings, and it hits every single one of these stained glass, emitting not the aura you would imagine, not the green that you had been hoping to be an artificer, but a dull gray aura. And your teacher, after taking a minute to compose herself,
Well, that's okay. That's okay. It must be a mistake. Come back here. We'll sort this out. Next turn, Lakir, would you like to go next?
And I'll walk up almost as I'm passing her, like, you're a gnome, right? Yeah, I will be, like, looking high up, quite the opposite way, gracefully walking up, go and just put my hand in.
So, similarly to Litzy, pings off the wall, and less surprised this time, but still, the teacher's like freaking out a little bit as the light hits, and again, a gray aura that is dull and unseen in the eyes of Great Grumbopolis shines, and she's like,
Maybe this is broken. Oleander, Oleander, is Oleander here?
and then one of Oleander's servants walks up and says, "No, the Great Unicorn is off posing for his 100th year statue. I'm afraid you'll have to take care of this yourself."
Okay, well,
And then she calls the next student in the list, and they place their hand in. The yellow light comes up like a sigh of relief. You can tell that, like, she's been programmed to make sure that you guys get in different auras, and if she doesn't do her job well, she may be replaced, because robots are replaceable. As the yellow light shines, she's like,
oh, thank goodness. A healer, yes. Go and stand with your aura family.
and eventually gets to Tess, which is the second to last in the group. She has waited to let Blink see all of the people putting their hand in to make sure that you felt comfortable, of course, Blink.
Well, Tess, I think you'll have to leave your grasshopper with me, but you can go put your hand in the light.
I'll just keep him on my shoulder. And then I'll, like, shyly, like, walk over to the light without passing her, like, try to, like, avoid where she could grab him.
Okay.
And I'll, like, walk over, I'm gonna sit next to the light, look at it for a second, and I'm gonna lean in and be like, "Hi, my name's Tess, and, my best friend Tim thinks I should be a ranger, and I trust him." And then I'm gonna put my hand in.
Okay, you put your hand in, and immediately the light pings up to the dark green ranger, and then the light refracts off of the ranger and hits the stained glass next to it. And again, you are placed in this gray, dull aura that's never been seen before.
Before Tess leaves that spot, I'm impatiently walking up and push him out of the way and stick my hand in the fire too.
All right, awesome. Blink, you walk up and push Tess out of the way and stick your hand in, and the light almost didn't even have a chance to retract back into the, like the little pillar that was happening before it again pings right back to the gray aura. This mechanical teacher that you guys have known looks at the four of you and is like, "I guess I'll have to go get Oleander and ask him what to do next, but
And what are we supposed to do?
just wait here and converse amongst yourselves. But as you do that, go ahead and describe your characters for me, please."
Okay, Lakir is pretty tall for 12. He's just under 6 foot, 5 foot, 5'10". He has long shoulder length blonde hair with blue eyes. He's wearing a simple blue robe with kind of a silver trim, as well as wearing basically circlets on both of his arms and circlet around his head. He has his... Are we equipped with weapons and armor at this point in time?
Yes. Before you went into the coronation ceremony, you were given all your starting equipment.
Okay. So yeah, I have a high quality longsword and longbow across my back, as well as a pouch on my right hip that has a series of darts inside of it. And then as well on my lower back on the left side, I have a holster that has my spellbook inside. And counterbalanced on the other side is the pouch with all my spell components.
Love it. Awesome.
My character's name is Litzy. She is a gnome, so of course she's very short. She was raised as an artisan and loves her background as an artisan. And she is physically very clumsy, but very smart mentally. She's got tan, olive skin, and with brown hair and brown eyes. She usually was wearing like browns and reds. She has studded leather armor, and her favorite weapon is her great club.
Awesome.
Alrighty. There's Tess. He's got like that dirty blonde. He's a little bit shorter. And one notable thing is he's got like a buddy grasshopper who always is like hanging out on his shoulder. Shire kid, usually like not looking you in the eyes, usually kind of standing off a few feet. Yeah, that's about his description, really.
And what race is Tess?
Oh, and Tess is human.
Awesome.
Blink is a dragonborn sorcerer, red with orange eyes. He's 12 years old, only stands about 5 feet tall, which is maybe a little bit taller than most 12-year-olds. He carries 2 daggers and his mace, but favors spells that revolve around fire.
Awesome. So yeah, like you guys are all sizing each other up as you walk towards this like corner of this massive great hall that your teacher has assigned for you to stand. And she walks away to go get Oleander and leaves you for a few minutes to converse amongst yourselves if you'd like.
So are our parents, have they been watching? Like, are they here to like witness this? No. Okay, just the class.
So part of the coronation is a cutoff from your parents. Because your aura family becomes your new family, they don't want you having a unhealthy connection to the people who raised you. And basically, it's almost like before today you had a family, and after today, your aura family is now your new family.
I'll basically just be like, I honestly think this is outrageous.
Maybe we get to choose.
I'm like on like one corner of the room, like pacing back and forth, like talking to myself, like trying to figure out if this is something that's happened before, if this is normal, is there a gray aura I didn't know about? Like I'm just like completely having my own conversation with myself, trying to figure it out.
My character will go back up to the light. Does the light shine outside like people can see? Okay, yes. I will look and examine the mechanism and for a moment like just put like my finger inside and see what happens.
Yeah. As your finger enters the light, only a small sliver refracts. But again, it like pings off of the wall and again bounces onto each of the stained glass windows, making it a gray, dull aura that comes off.
Okay. And then I will go examine just the walls.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. I'm in the corner, just kind of smirking at everyone's disapproval and disappointment that it didn't quite go the way they wanted it to go.
So we're all just like a little bit distant, just hanging out. Yeah, and my character like he said that, and then he's mostly just shyly just standing there waiting to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
I'll wait for a moment where I feel like eyes are not on me, and this entire time I'm watching the walls. Is there just perhaps a gem that looks like it might be loose or crusted or something like that? If so, may I attempt to grab it?
Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. 12.
Yes. You, in fact, find in one of the blue rows of this, it's kind of rainbow striped with the amount of precious gems that are lining the walls, and in the blue strip of precious gems you see a sapphire that has kind of wedged its way out of the wall.
Okay, I will attempt to dislodge it and quickly pocket it without anybody seeing.
Okay, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Ooh, not very good. 5.
Okay, with a 5, you are able to get it out of the wall. However, trying to wiggle it free, you hit the gem against the stone, and it just like
echoes throughout the room.
Echoes throughout. A few of your classmates look over at you as you not so subtly pocket this gem.
I don't even acknowledge like anything. I know their eyes are on me, but I continue looking at the wall like nothing has changed.
Awesome. Okay, love it. Your teacher comes back to your group without the Great Unicorn Oleander, and she will look at the 4 of you and she's like,
This has never happened, but Oleander said he's a little busy right now, but if you want to go see him, he said he would have instruction for you of what to do.
And then she like gestures towards Oleander's quarters.
I'm excited. I mean, I was concerned a second ago, but now I'm back to like beaming again because I'm excited to go see Oleander.
I will go first and start heading out. Is she escorting us there, or are we just going.
As part of your coronation, you are now kind of like full-fledged adults at 12 years old, but she assumes that you would all be responsible enough to, I mean, you can make your own decisions at this point as to where you go. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Okay. Yeah, then I will just head out as soon as she gives us permission to.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I'll follow. I'll stagger behind. Like, my character's a little stressed. Like, Oleander. Like, brush my hair and be like, oh, God.
Yeah. There's like a staircase to the north of where you guys are, and you walk up the steps to where you know Oleander's quarters are. And you said you were going first, right, Lakir?
Yes.
You approach a door. It is closed but not locked.
Okay. I will just enter and close the door behind me.
Okay.
Am I behind him? My jaw drops to the floor.
And I walk past and just strong arm the doors open, just poof.
Link, you open the doors after Lakir closes it. You see Lakir kind of standing in front of the crowd of you as long as you all enter.
After seeing him close the door, I might like wait out there as if like maybe we're supposed to go one at a time. So I'll kind of like wait by the door, like leaning against the wall next to it.
Okay, I love it. The door closes after Blink pushes it outward, and you see Blink and Litzy walk through. And then if you'd like to walk in, you can.
My character's gonna wait out the door for like permission.
Wait, do I notice that he didn't come in with us? Is that
Roll me
pretty
a
obvious?
perception check.
14.
So you notice as the doors close behind you that they closed rather quickly, and it didn't seem like anyone stopped the door from closing, and you notice that Tess is not behind you.
And do I know everyone's names since we
Yes.
all are in the same class?
Yes, so you all have grown up with one another, went to like elementary school together, and now have graduated a somewhat high school together, and you've only had a class of 20 people, so you may not know everyone super well, but you at least know everyone's names.
Okay, well, I'm gonna throw my head out the door and turn to Tess and say, Tess, are you waiting for something?
No. And then I'll come in. Like clearly realizing how silly I was being.
Love it. As you enter the room, you see the great unicorn, Oleander, posing with 1 foot up and 1 foot on the ground. 1 foot up and then the other 3 feet on the ground. I forget he's a horse. And he's like posing very majestic horse-like with his horn very pronounced. And there's a sculptor in the corner of the room sculpting this massive statue from this block of marble. And as you enter and he hears the door close for a third time, Oleander's like, oh, well, do come in now.
Would it be culturally appropriate in Great Grumbopolis for me to like run up to him and like start bowing?
Is this a common thing to see him? Like, would many people see him before, or is it a very rare occurrence?
This would be a very rare occurrence.
Okay.
He does generally just live in this castle and does not leave very often.
Okay. I will simply just kneel down on the ground, just expectantly.
I definitely run at his feet and start bowing dramatically.
I kind of just stand next to the door.
I kind of respectively bow.
He's like, oh, no need for pleasantries. I do not need to be bowed to. I appreciate the respect, but we are all equals here. Please, if you will all be seated. And he dramatically like waves his hoof around to different places you can sit in the office. And then the little gnome sculptor in the corner is like,
Oleander, I'm gonna have to ask you again. Please stop moving.
and he's like, oh, right. And he like assumes his one leg up position again. And he says, I did not expect to see 4 of you here. Blink, since we found you in the wilds, I knew that you were different. We haven't seen a dragonborn in many, many years. Almost since the founding of Great Grumbopolis, I don't think we've encountered any dragonborn, and so I maybe have expected it from you, but to the rest of you, look here. Your father is my second in command and the leader of the historian's library. Litzy, your father is the second of command of the artificer's factory. And Tess, though your parents' jobs may soon become obsolete, they are still great people, and I'm sure that they are saddened by this loss.
Expect this. You act as though this is a cursed or terrible thing. So, it is?
Well, let's look at it more as a unfortunate surprise. We could pose this as that you are unwelcome here in Great Grumbopolis, or we could pose it as you are meant to be here. You are meant to be the gray aura, a new emerging aura amongst the auras of Great Grumbopolis, of the rainbow. But what will we do with you?
I'm sorry, but it doesn't appear that we have much in common. I can't imagine something that we could accomplish with the group of us.
Maybe that is the beauty of it. The four of you may be the bridge to each of the auras. I know that before today, all of you seem to have been children and may not have noticed, but there are cracks forming within each of the auras, and I do not know what the paste is to fill these cracks, but it may be you. You may be what I need in order to fix Great Grumbopolis before it crumbles on the brink of its 100th year. And we don't want to relive what happens in the world below after all of you, I'm sure, learned in your history classes what happened to the world below with the Great Mustard Cloud War. I mean, nobody's been there for 100 years except for, well, Blink, of course, and the Rangers. I don't mean to disrespect the Badlands, but, well, we call them Badlands.
So what would you have us do? We have no supplies, no location, no family, and we are expected to fix Great Grumbopolis?
What roles will this hold for us? How will this change our path?
All good questions, all good questions. And as Oleander is pondering your guys' questions, Tess, your mom is going to burst through Oleander's doors, similar to how Blink did, and run up to you and be like, "My baby!"
Hi, Mom.
Oleander, there must have been a mistake. As you can see, Tess is not equipped to be alone. He needs to be with me.
It's just gonna be an adventure.
Okay, you're right, okay.
Go home, Mom. It's fine.
Now, is there anything I can do, Oleander, to change this? And Oleander's going to look at your mom and he's going to be like, "Now that you mention it, are the clerics still using that old church?" And she's like, "Since the fire, it's been burned down. Nobody's gone in it. I mean, it's basically just petrified wood and smoke still comes out of it every so often." Oleander ponders for a second, puts his hoof down. "What if that's where you went? That's your place. The burnt down church. It's gray."
Great. And I'll just kind of stare at the ground.
And as far as your purpose and your path, we'll figure it out as it goes. And the sculptor looks up and notices that Oleander has faced towards you and is like,
I will, in a fit of annoyance, walk over and cast Minor Illusion to have an image of Oleander in the pose, and I will say, "Will you stop interrupting our conversation? Will this do?" It's like a holographic image of him just in his pose like this, and I was just going to hold it out for him to look at so that we can actually have a conversation without worrying about him.
The gnome smiles and is like,
It's a shame you weren't put into the purple aura. I could have used a hand like you. Thanks.
and starts chiseling away again.
I'm gonna shyly kind of step forward very slowly and be clearly trying to push an idea maybe we can be a bridge to the outside world.
How do you mean?
We could explore it.
He is quite right, though. We haven't had enough proper exploration of the below world in hundreds of years. Who knows that if it is now populated, perhaps the solution to Great Grumbopolis is to move it to the ground. Maybe somewhere more stable.
Oleander ponders again for a moment, but then is like, "I'll have to test you. I can't just send you out there alone. I mean, rangers go through months, if not years of training in order to be able to go down below. How about this? You help me with one errand, followed by a few more filling of the cracks within current Great Grumbopolis, so that I don't have to worry as much about everything falling apart right before our 100th year celebration, and then we'll talk about you leaving."
Fair enough. I do suppose that we'll at least be properly supplied with the things we will need to survive this adventure.
Well, of course. Great Grumbopolis has never let anyone go without.
Very well. If we are leaving, I would assume that we would need some way of healing ourselves or staying alive. I do not wish to go out without insurance.
I'll see to it that the local wizards whip you up some potions. But until then...
Very well. A wand as well, please.
All right. Yeah. Well, that works. But before then, some of the local rabbits in the Druid's rabbit sanctuary have escaped. And, well, they've gotten into the Crimson Guard tunnel barracks. Some of the new recruits from your guys' class has become distracted with their training by petting these rabbits. So I ask you to go first, get those rabbits, and return them to the rabbit sanctuary, and then we can discuss further, as it'll give me more time to think.
I can get rabbits.
If you feel that this is a worthy task of our skills, sure.
Sounds fun to me.
How many rabbits?
I don't think they had a number, but I assume no more than 6.
And is this, are they needed back alive, or is this target practice?
They'll be needed alive.
I'll let that be decided amongst yourselves.
Or brought back a little crispy?
I am quite fond of the rabbit myself, Blink. I'll let you decide however you decide to bring these rabbits back, but I assume you all know the way to the guards' barracks?
Yes.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Okay, be on your way then. I'll get right to thinking of what to do. And, assumes his position again.
Yeah, I will stop casting minor illusion and start walking out of the room.
As I'm leaving the room, noticing the what was it, a gnome?
Mhm.
Was it a gnome sculptor?
Yeah.
Right? Seeing the gnome sculptor concentrating on his work, I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and create what is basically the smell of an egg fart in his general direction.
I love it. Okay, roll me on the wild magic table.
Okay.
Roll me a d20 first.
13.
13. All right, and now roll me a d100.
80.
As you cast Prestidigitation to make this egg smell, you start thinking about different foods, and out of thin air, 1,000 pounds of your least favorite vegetable. What is your least favorite vegetable? What is Blink's least favorite vegetable?
Blink's least favorite vegetable is broccoli.
Okay, 1,000 pounds of broccoli appear appear in the space all around you. It starts piling up on the sculptor's statue and all around your feet. And as it does, the sculptor looks at the broccoli, looks at you guys, and is like, "Get out! Get out!"
And now it
I'm
smells
gonna grab some of the broccoli, try to get a little bag of it.
Yeah, very well able to do that.
And now it smells like egg fart and broccoli in the room. And so piling my way out through the broccoli, I'm chuckling and saying, it was still worth it.
Awesome.
I personally want to stop by the church on the way and just look over it on the way to the barracks.
I think so too.
Okay,
Once I see him kind of go off in that direction, I'm going to want to go with him too.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
sweet. You guys are in luck because right outside of Oleander's castle, you can see the billowing smoke coming up above this petrified, burnt wood church that the clerics used to occupy before the fire, and they rebuilt their sanctuary church thing to be in a beehive because they're currently being slowly made obsolete as the artificers are making heal bots that perform better than clerics do. But this church is blackened, and there's again a pillar of smoke coming out of the entire top of it, and there are two very intact doors.
I will be staring at it for a while.
I open the door and try to assess, what's it gonna take to make this place, livable, where you don't feel like you're, choking on smoke.
So you open the door, and as you do, out bursts this black sheep, and it runs through you and gets out of the church and then looks at the four of you and then runs right back into the church and starts munching again on hay bales, because the church is filled with various hay bales that were seemingly used as seating arrangements. There are ruined pictures on the walls, and the floor is made completely of stone, but other than that, it seems to be quite picked through.
I'm gonna immediately get some broccoli out and go try to stand next to the sheep and give it some broccoli, and then if it calms down, just kind of hang out with it.
As he does, I'll fall in after him, and as I see him kind of distracting the sheep to a point, I'm going to cast Prestidigitation on it and see if I can clean the black away and see if it is soot or if its fur is naturally black.
So as you cast prestidigitation to try and clean this sheep, a lot of the soot that was covering its face and its hooves goes away, but indeed it is still a black sheep.
The first thing I want to do is find out where the smoke is coming from. So can I do that?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to follow the smoke path wherever it's coming from to see if I can find its source.
Roll me an investigation check.
23.
So as you look at the wood and inspect the walls, it seems that the smoke is just coming off of the wood like it's almost still burning. As you can tell as you put your hand close to the wall to investigate it, that it is not of a hot temperature, that it is very cooled at this point. But it's just petrified wood that's still smoking.
I'll comment and I'll say, reminds me quite like Mage Flame. I think that this was a conspiracy or plot by the wizards or artificers to take down the clerics. I believe your people were the ones that did it. And I'll just say that almost matter-of-factly, as almost like I'm casually mentioning the weather, and then continue looking about the room.
My eyes widen, but I'm also starting to just smirk and smile at your smart aleckness, and I just ignore it.
And at this point, the sheep is very much approaching you with the broccoli. Is meh.
Start feeding it and petting it. Maybe make an animal handling check. Net 20, baby!
Nice. Okay, so as you roll an animal handling check, as you approach this sheep with your broccoli, the sheep eats the broccoli and looks at you like you guys are gonna get along just fine.
Yeah, so I'll just be hanging out with the sheep now.
Fascinating as beasts and eternally burning walls are, would you like to get to our task today?
How smoky is it in the church itself? Is it mostly just coming out the top, or does it feel like there's lots in the church?
It's a little smoky in the church, but generally it's rising above the church. But you can smell smoke in the church building.
Maybe before we get to our task, we should try to figure out how to clear the smoke so we don't choke.
Well, personally, I was under the impression that we were just going to demolish this place and rebuild something grander.
I love that. That's so good.
So I assume you have the money for that?
No, but I hope to secure some more funds through our good friend Oleander.
That'd be nice.
Right, absolutely.
That's literally what my character does. He gives you a pleasant smile, but with piercing eyes while just staring at you.
Hi, my name's Tess.
Well, this is Listia. She is a clumsy brainiac who seems to know everything. You are Tess, a very kind, very timid, but fairly stupid boy. And you are a newcomer, very strange and do not seem to belong in our society, named Blink. I have read each of every one of your files, so yes, I'm quite acquainted.
Good.
Shall we get to our task?
Alrighty.
Great. And I'll kind of just exit.
I'm gonna try to bring the sheep.
Yeah.
Can I make a makeshift
Yeah, you'd have some rope on you.
or with my animal handling check? Can I just have them follow me?
Yeah, the black sheep, as it notices you guys leaving, Tess, you kind of gesture to have it come with you, and it just follows.
I'll just be kind of petting it while we walk.
You guys pass the Rangers headquarters and the Crimson Guard, which is the guard's headquarters. In front of the guard's headquarters, somebody kind of gestures towards you to walk towards the hallway, as Oleander has let out the message that you will be dealing with the rabbit problem.
I'll kind of walk in and says, we are here to, I believe we are expected, are we not?
You see a very hairy gerblin. Gerblins are goblins in this world. They have grown teddy bear-like hair all over their body that reaches towards the ground. They kind of look like Ewoks from Star Wars, and goblins evolved this way so that they would be accepted into Great Grumbopolis society as these teddy bear people. And this is a very, very old gerblin. His hair that used to be brown is now all gray. It leaves a veil of hair behind him as he looks at you and he's like, well, yeah, Oleander did say something about some of you guys coming here, but
Yes,
the rabbits are over there, and I really just wanted to train our new recruits. I didn't think that bunnies would stop us. Those druids letting all their rabbits get out of control.
I am very confident in the security that you provide our city. Anyway, where are the rabbits?
Thank you. The rabbits, well, they're down that hallway right there. If you would.
I will. And I'll start walking towards them and say, will you be joining me?
Yes, as I start to walk, I say, not going to lie, I was a little bit excited about the idea of bringing them back crispy. but it's alright. I like bunnies, so I guess alive is fine.
I could use a bunny's foot for a few of my spellcasting components, so perhaps you can go off on your own and befriend one or two, and we will take care of the rest.
I guess that's fair.
Great. Well,
All right, come on, big boy. And I'll
big boy.
gesture at the sheep and kind of like head on ahead and try to just like grab as many as I can before they arrive.
I will quite like seeing that he is hasty. My character will literally give him a 10-second head start and start counting to 10 inside his head. While preparing, you can see flames starting to like burn around his hands as he's kind of just like waiting.
I'm gonna like yell back to the Crimson Guard. Do you guys have like a bag?
Yeah, so the captain, he's like, I can get you a bag. Yeah.
That'd be great.
We found this one. And he hands you a bag. Actually, this is called a bag of tricks. You can add it into your inventory. It is a red bag of tricks. He does not know its magical properties, however. And report back to me. I'm
right.
I'm Captain Fluffy Hands when you're done.
Thank you. Tim says you're very cool. And then I'll run off.
Who's this? Who's Tim? And he like goes back to his work, thinking like that some person named Tim thinks he's cool. So he's like, "Thank you, thank you."
I'm just gonna like calmly be walking and start searching for the rabbits.
Yeah, I'll join him.
You get about the end of this hallway and you see 4 rabbits in the arms of some of your old classmates, and they're petting them, and like 2 of them have their rabbits and they're like pushing them, trying to get them to race against each other. They notice the 4 of you and are like, hey, it's you guys, come play.
So question, is he lagging behind by just a bit because he went to go get the bag?
I did run back for the bag, so I guess I'm behind at this point.
This is true.
As I feel really bad about this, me as a player. I am going, as they're kind of like the ones that are racing, I'm going to just reach into a pouch real quick and take out, you can see a long, basically completely metal dart, and I will just aim kind of just right in the eye of the bunny as it's going along, and just attempt to just like pin it if I can.
Yeah, roll me an
Just
attack.
18.
I'm gonna attempt to catch the dart right as it leaves his hand.
Interesting. All right, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. 12.
12. All right. Unfortunately, you like clasp your hand out as you look into your hand, thinking like, "Oh, I got it." There's no dart there, and when the dart actually hits the bunny, where you hit the bunny, which is like right between the eyes, a huge prism of rainbow light shoots out of the bunny's head, and all the lights fade except for purple. The purple light kind of oozes onto the rabbit and melts away its body, and in its place, a giant rat. It doubles in size, and as one is hit, all of the other rabbits turn into these giant rats. And everyone, if you could, go ahead and roll me initiative.
Okay.
I just want to say that I was previously really bummed to see my classmates playing with the rabbits, and to think of Tess trying to save the rabbits, even though I kind of wanted to blow them up. But now seeing that they're rats, I'm actually super excited and pumped now.
My character is literally debating whether to still try to defend it.
So they're not bunnies, but I mean, rats are still cool.
It's still fluffy.
All right, and what did you get?
I got an 11.
11.
You rolled like much higher than I did. You got -2.
13.
Nice.
18.
All right, Blink, you are going to have the first jump on these rats.
Okay.
And as these turn into rats, they kind of turn, and the 2 that were trying to get the 2 bunnies to race, like the rats snarl at them, and your 4 classmates that were playing with the bunnies run off towards the other direction.
So we're clear. The kids are not. Kids are not there anymore. Okay.
Kids have run away.
Nice scars.
Courageous.
I'm going to take a step forward and just inhale and exhale flames towards these rats. So, breath weapon, breathing fire, 30-foot cone. They have to make a dexterity save.
Okay, so 2 of them save and 2 of them fail.
Okay, so
And do they take half on a failure?
yes.
Okay, so 2 of the rats kind of jump out of the way of your fire blast, but they still get burned by the massive heat of your breath.
So that's 11 fire damage, I guess 5 if they succeeded.
So as you breathe out, 2 of these rats just go up in flames and just are in a little charred pile, and 2 of them are dead. And with that, it is going to be the rat's turn. They rolled the same as Tess. These 2 rats look at Blink as you have hurt them, and one of them is going to run up to you and chomp at you with their bite.
Okay.
An 18 to hit.
Oh, yeah, that hits me.
And then you're going to take 3 piercing damage. And then this second rat is also gonna run up to you, seeing that the rest of the group is slightly behind you because they didn't want to get crispied. And he's going to bite as well. A 13 to hit.
That hits.
And that will deal you 4 piercing damage. And with that, these rats kind of sneer, and that is the end of their turn. With that, it is Tessa's turn.
Alrighty, I'm just immediately gonna put my hands out and heal Blink here. 11.
Nice.
11 healing damage? Or
No. 11 healing damage. Blink is undead.
11 healing, I mean?
Yeah, 11 healing. I'm gonna do cure wounds. I rolled an 8.
That should bring you back up to full, I guess, Blink. And with that, do you have anything else you'd like to do, Tess?
No, that'll be it.
Okay. With that, it is going to be...
Me. I will instantly draw my rapier or my longsword. I'm going to cast Green Flame Blade and attack 24.
Definitely hits.
So it takes 7 points of piercing damage and 1 point of fire damage. And then the other rat takes 3 points of fire damage as the flame jumps to him.
As you are bringing your sword down, you realize these aren't... I mean, they're giant rats, but they're not giant threats. And you see that their fate is in your hands. How would you like to kill them?
I'll just go and, rather, since both of them are already pretty crispy, I will target the one and just put the sword down in it, essentially, and pin it to the ground and have the flame kind of burn around it before just hopping over to the next one and setting it ablaze.
Perfect. We are now out of initiative. All of the rats are dispatched.
So obviously I didn't get a piece of that action, but I'm going to say that the reason why I didn't take initiative before literally everyone else is because even though we've been classmates, I haven't really seen anyone like in action yet, right?
Right.
Not really. So as I was watching Blink and Lakir use fire as a part of their weapons, I was just like googly eyes, not in a romantic way. But I was just so stoked. All of a sudden, like, both of you guys in my books just went up like a couple good notches because I was so excited that you were using fire as part of your ways to,
Kill things.
So
Yeah.
I was just excited.
Awesome. Guards Captain Fluffy Hands walks down the hallway and is like, "Oh, I was just about to come help you. Thanks for taking care of these rats. I thought they were bunnies. Which one of you recruits was playing with rats? What is that?" And he points at the rats. As you guys look down at these rats, you notice that purple ooze that came over them at the beginning seeps off of them and seeps through the ground and vanishes.
So the rats are gone, or just the ooze?
Just the ooze.
Do
And
they appear as bunnies now?
they do appear as bunnies now.
Interesting. I will go pick up one of the bunnies and just like, well, waste not, want not. And I'll take my longsword and just quickly chop off the foot, press digitation to clean it up.
I'm gonna go over and put them in the bag. Anything that isn't like somebody's not working with right now. So I might leave that one, but grab the other 3 and put it in my bag.
I'll put it in the bag as as you're tidying up the rest of them. I'll just drop it in.
As you open the bag, roll me a d8, Danny.
6.
A big old cow leaps out of the bag and stands next to you and your sheep and looks at you as like, and you replace the bunny into this bag, and yeah, now you have a sheep and a cow
And I'm gonna
with
close
you.
it and just start getting out some broccoli.
And is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I want to investigate the now dead bunnies.
Roll me an investigation check.
I was thinking maybe we should do this back at the church.
Tess saying, hey, maybe we should do this back at the church. I am not opposed and am anxious to find out what's going on.
Sweet. I'll offer you the bag.
Sure.
I'll give you the bag.
As the bag trades hands, the cow seems no longer interested in Tess's broccoli and walks over to Blink.
I kind of I'll be like, Can I have the bag back?
Me kind of annoyed by the cow trying to like put its wet nose on me and lick me. I throw the bag back to Tess.
It's all right, little guy. Come on, big boy, little guy. Let's go. We'll start walking back to the church. Maybe almost skipping. I'm pretty happy with all the animal friends I've got.
Awesome. All right. And with that, that's where we're going to end for tonight. Thank you for joining us at Knocked Prone. My name is Cade, and I am the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure. And I am joined here by the characters.
Lakir.
Litzy.
Tess.
Blink.
And if you would, please go on over to patreon.com/knocked and check out our amazing benefits we offer for our patrons so we can continue to make episodes just like these. And we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling. From all of us here at Knocked Prone, we hope you have a great rest of your day.